Hello viewers, and welcome once again to a very special program, and this program is on the Swachh Bharat mission. The title of this program that we have given and the topic that we have taken up today is Swachhata hi Seva hai, or public participation to cleanliness. Mahatma Gandhi had long once said that if one doesn't take up the broom and the bucket in one's hand, well, you cannot keep your towns and your cities clean. Well, Mahatma Gandhi, the father of the nation, as we know him today, has said this and spoken about it a long time ago. But it seems that it holds true even to this day and to this time. Because if an individual and the community doesn't take up the responsibility and the role of keeping its surroundings and their homes and outside their homes clean and tidy and think about the environment, then who else will? And therefore, we are gathered here today to speak about the Swachhata mission, or the Swachh Bharat mission, which was launched by the government of India in the year 2014. And this year, that is in 2024, it is the 10th anniversary of it. This year, the theme that has been kept is Swabhav Swachhata and Sanskar Swachhata. Well, it means that we need to bring changes in our nature, in our behavior, in our values, if we really want to keep our environment clean. And in this, the role of the community, the role of the public at large plays a very, very crucial aspect of it. And to tell us more about on this and about the role of the public and the individual, we are joined by a panel members here. Let me go ahead and introduce them to you. To my left is Patricia Mukim, who is the editor of the Shillong Times. We are also joined by Ranjit Singh Marbanyang. He is the Rangbashnong of Waing Do, a locality here in Shillong. And we also have to my extreme left Shri Jeevat Vaswani, who is an entrepreneur, but somebody who is very tirelessly working towards the environment. He's an environmentalist, very conscious of its beautification as well. So I heartily welcome all three of you to this program today, and thank you so much for your time. Well, I would like to come straight to Babu Ron, that is our Rangbashnong of Wayengdo. Well, you have just told me to address you by that name, Babu Ron. Thank you for coming to the studios. Well, if I remember correctly, a few years ago, very recently, Wayengdo, the locality of Wayengdo, got a very special prize from the government of Meghalaya for some best practices that your locality is following towards cleanliness. Can you tell us what are those practices?
Okay. I have been the Astar Basham 2006, and then they appointed me as a chairman of the Vigilance Committee.
Right.
So right from that year, we are very, very proactive about cleanliness. So what we have done, I just make it short to the point. We have managed to convince the inhabitants of our locality, the house owner as well as the tenants, especially the house owner, around 90 plus toilets which has been discharged directly to Wamkhra River. We have stopped it. Okay. Totally stopped it.
That's
what we have done as a vigilance committee. Right, is 2007, 2008 we complete, because we have to give time also for them to construct new toilet and to repair and other things. So without putting any pressure on them, that we will find the people of the locality, the house owner especially, they cooperate with what we are discussing with them. So that is achievements in our case. And then they have got also this rearing of cows in the middle of the city. Okay. So we talk with the house owner, then we put a stop to that also.
To that also.
Yes. And then with the municipal, there is a good relationship, and then we cooperate very nicely. Any problem that we have, we inform them immediately. They send to our locality to give us a helping hand. So in a week, because the topography of our locality in such a way that it's very difficult for the cars and also to go to each and corner. Okay. So we come to the main road on the upper side, on the lower side. From Polo, they used to collect because it is steep. So therefore, 3 days in Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then another 3 days downward. So therefore, segregation of waste, we have instruct in the meeting, especially the house owner must take the responsibility to see that their tenants, they are doing what we instruct them. That means segregation of waste is right from the kitchen.
Absolutely.
right from the kitchen. That's what we are doing, and maybe here and there will be some
lapses
mischief there.
Yes,
They will do lapses there maybe,
but
actually we are doing the thing, and then we have been from the CEO time and again they have praised what we are doing.
Wonderful.
So that is what is
wonderful to know this. Yeah, we will come back to you again.
Okay.
Let me bring in Kong Pat here. Kong Pat, I mean what he said just now, that people are willingly trying to bring about a change, and that should be how it should be, right, when it comes to us, our concerns to the environment and to cleanliness.
See, I look at it this way. We at every household level are the ones that generate the garbage.
Right.
So if we are not responsible, then how do we hold anyone else responsible? And because we live in a situation where we are under a Dorbar Shnong, I believe that the Dorbar Shnong should really be very strict. They should have a vigilance committee like Ba was saying, because we don't have that in our Shnong, nor do they have it in most Shnongs. If you don't have the vigilance committee, because the other day I saw a lady near my house, after cleaning everything around, she went and threw the bag of garbage to somebody else's compound, because that compound is not used now by anyone. The house is empty. So we are always looking, we seem to have come to an era where we are always looking how we can slyly dispose of our garbage, instead of waiting for that collection truck to come.
Exactly.
So unless every one of us has a behavioral change, it's not going to work, because then you find that people dump garbage in the rivers. That's the next best thing, or in all the drains.
And why should there be punitive actions in any case? Because often, the municipality also has taken up quite stern measures when it comes to, because several times they have found, doing such nuisance, right? Yeah, so
for that you need CCTV cameras, which a smart city project was supposed to install. Unless we have those, the very fact that there's a camera somewhere, people will...
Okay, it will act as a deterrent.
Yeah,
okay. All right, so let me just bring in Jeevit Vaswani ji. You are an environmentalist, very, very conscious of your surroundings, and the contribution that you have made is immense, and you've been awarded also for this. Tell us what calls you towards your concerns for the environment?
That's very nice. As an environmentalist, I as a child, when I grew up, I was not bothered about it initially. I just took it like that. But when I had my own kids and all that, then I saw the future for my family and the kids. And as we see, when we were small, the rivers were clean, everything was so nice, and in a matter of time, it has gone into...
Yes.
Deteriorated. Yeah. And so what happened, I somewhere realized that you yourself has to take the step first, and just talking to people will not answer, will not be, your work will show. So in that way I started doing in a little way, cleaning the localities and doing plantation and all that. Then we met ma'am Kong Pat. She told, you have a good team, you go ahead more better, and she encourages us. And then we are there, we have made a team of Jiva called Jiva Cares, and there we are going ahead, we are trying our best. But I feel it is a moral duty of every citizen to take care of this matter very seriously. It is not a government or anyone, it is every citizen. If they just take care of the waste, then the problem gets solved right there.
Yeah, we are always looking at the government for everything.
Yes, for everything, yeah. And we blame, and we are very, the government is easily blamed also for, but we don't blame ourselves. Yeah, I mean, we tend to keep our home very clean, but just outside our home, we throw everything else, right? So, Ba, I come to you once again. When we are talking about community participation, how do you look into this aspect of community participation? How can the community play a bigger and a greater role when it comes to such, when we are talking about a clean environment?
Yes, in the present state of, I think the school, they must take, because we have an environment education.
So it should begin from the school level, at that early level. Yeah.
Of course, we don't blame the children, but we have to highlight them so that to carry on this cleanness forward, because they are the one who will grow up.
Right.
Yes, we have spoiled everything, no doubt, we have to take the blame also. But now about the children, the school, each and every locality, each and every school, they have to sensitize them about cleanliness, about this thing, in a very, very important way. That is number one. Then number two, about the community. because we are in the jurisdiction of Shillong Municipal Board. I will suggest to the authorities concerned that they must have a full-time environmentalist in the SMB. They must have a full-time accountant, and then they must have a full-time statistician. Because this actually, over the years, I remember 1972, we have our state code, but over the years, municipal is a dumping place. Actually, she is supposed to dump everything, but it is a dumping place where the powers that be, I will not blame anyone. They simply brought the Tom, Dick, and Harry to manage this municipal.
Okay.
But actually, municipal is very, very important.
It needs
department.
expertise. No?
Yeah.
Yes, we need expertise. That is
The people who manage. Okay, now let's come to Kongpat. He just brought in a very important point, and that is, cleanliness should begin right from childhood.
Yes.
You are, leading a team of conscious environmentalists, and you're doing some cleaning drives. You have done it for the last so many years now. You are trying your best. You are also enlisting a number of school children who join you often. How important is these values that comes from the home itself?
That is integral. I think in the school we have environmental lessons, but these are very theoretical. The
very
schools,
scientific also.
Yeah, the schools should actually get the children involved in cleaning, and this is what Brian Walang of Kiddies Corner does. He brings his students of class 9 and they clean the river so passionately. And then they ask questions also. How is it that people dirty this river again and again and again? We've been cleaning it since 2019. This is our 5th year. But we will continue because that awareness is also needed. Now the point is that we need to really bring in that behavioral change. And many people have said, when you teach little kids all these things, and you teach it to them in a manner that they can relate to, then they go back and tell their parents. And they shame their parents who throw things out of the window, out of the car window, just so they can get rid of it. You see, that is the point. We call garbage in Khasi kinyut.
Kinyut.
Kinyut means anything that has to be discarded.
Yes.
You don't care where it is discarded.
Where it is going, yeah.
So unless we have that responsibility, and I feel, Moshami, that we should reduce the number of disposable items in this world today. There are too many disposables, from cups to plates to plastics especially. And we've had this ongoing battle against plastics. The state imposes, no more plastic production, no more bringing plastics to Meghalaya of so and so thickness. But it keeps happening, it keeps coming in, and nobody is there to enforce anything. And this is where I want to bring in the State Pollution Control Board. We clean the river, and every time we see cars coming and washing themselves in the middle of the river. That's not allowed. And how do they come in and do that? So all these institutions have to be held accountable. And I think together we should do that. We should do a social audit of State Pollution Control Board and tell the government, this is what your board is doing. It's not doing what it's supposed to do.
Okay. Talking about plastic, Jeevatji, I think this here I am absolutely in the same tangent with Kongpat. Annoys me. What annoys me to see is these little shops that sells these chips packets, which takes, how many years? 150 years or more for a little, decomposition, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And these are being sold. I think our environment today is much more dirtier because of these plastics, because of these, disposables, as Kongpat has said. How concerned you are also, because you're an entrepreneur yourself, and there are a lot of tourists who comes to this state. This is a tourist destination. Tourist also plays a role here, where so many of our tourist sites are actually very polluted.
See, in this plastic matter, there are two things. One is a chips packet, and one is a plastic one-time use bottles. So we as hoteliers, we are trying our best not to use this plastic one-time use bottles. And in most of our outlets, we have glass bottles.
Okay.
And many hotels are trying and coming forward in this matter that we hoteliers have to work on this, because we are the main consumers of water. And we are trying our best. And regarding this chips packet and all these things, this is a nuisance. these companies who produce all these things, they should take it back. They should have a scheme. Give me 10 and give me one packet free.
And there are just 10 chips inside and a packet that takes 200 years to decompose.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that is absolutely not done.
So these companies should come with a scheme that give me 10 empty plastic this chips packet. I'll give you one.
Or they should have a CSR where
take it
they
back.
Take it back. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And Babu Ron, when I come back to you once again, you know, certain localities in Shillong are very clean, but certain localities are very messy. Why is it so, you feel? And you know, is it depends at the locality level, at the Rangbashnong level, or is it possible for all Rangbashnongs to come together actually and to have a policy which is applicable to all?
Yes.
Uniformity.
Okay, regarding this question, no, Waindo is in the middle of the city, and we have one stream coming from Police Bazaar side, from Umkaliar side, and then during the monsoon, the rainy season, all this Police Bazaar area, they just dump it during the rainy season. They just dump it on the back side of Police Bazaar. There is a stream right from Kiting Road.
Yes.
They simply dump there. Even the bankrupt stock, even this king size mattresses, and then pigs and all these things. No, they dead animal. They simply dump it there. And then what happened? From there, the river will carry to Waindo. And from Waindo, it discharged there in Wamkra River. So the main polluters which have raised, if we compare, can remember, April last year, April 14 to 2023, I've spoken very vocal there, which the main polluter for this area, it is Kiting Road, Police Bazaar, and then this containment area, and then Yaudu area, Temyo Molong, and then Motpran area. All these they come to.
But these are also market areas, but they are supposed to, you know, but shouldn't we have a policy, a proper policy?
Yes, that is right. Because now only the municipal, but actually the Khasil District Council must be there in the committee, and then the same of Milli also must be there as well as with the Dorbashnam.
Yes.
Without any cooperation, I can clean my locality, but because we are in this slope, no? So it may come from the other locality.
So therefore, you know, all stakeholders, all stakeholders need to come together and play a role, a collective role. Kongpat, do you look at it at this?
See, there is no convergence in our state. If there is convergence where we all work together, for instance, if we look at the Umkaliar, now that water comes right from Umken, from Nongra, from Lapalang, Rinja, Umpling, and then it comes to Umkaliar. There are Rangbashnongs at every of those localities. And each one is blaming the other one because it's coming from there, and finally it lands at Umkaliar. So the point is that every shnong must be held accountable for the garbage in the river within their jurisdiction. And for that they need to make whatever mesh or whatever they need to do to trap the garbage there, and that shnong will clean up. And in the bargain they will also know that many people from their localities within their jurisdiction are actually dumping garbage there. That's the only way to hold the citizens accountable.
Right. And when we are talking about, you know, we are talking about garbage, of course, you know, about dumping, etc. But what about disposal, scientific disposal of garbage also? Should it be at the locality level instead of going to the main garbage dumping grounds?
You should read that present CAG report. They've done a special audit on solid waste management, and they've found that it is not sustainable. The way we are handling garbage today, that landfill at Martin, is no longer sustainable. And look at it, most of the garbage also lands up at Umiam Lake, which generates electricity.
Right.
And the poor people there are cleaning up all that garbage, then they don't have a place to dispose that garbage. So now they're going to dig a deep hole and put everything into that hole. Can you imagine that situation?
No, that is totally unscientific.
We are actually in a crisis. So we should treat this whole thing as a crisis. There must be a crisis management team. The government has to lead it, but we all have to join that.
Right. But when we are talking about citizens' role, communities' role, we have seen in our other district headquarter, that is in Jawai, not a few months ago, what was the situation. I don't know how much it has improved now, where for months there was a pile up because nobody is willing to give land for disposal of garbage. What do you have to say about this, Baburam?
No, actually, in the last week meeting, we have regarding this stretch 3 meeting regarding Wamkra River. And then last year, in the month of December, we had a meeting there in KHDC, where some people from UNO they have come, along with from Delhi also representative. So we have been waiting for them because they have visited Umpling and then this Martin area. So I wait there till for nearly 3 hours. I mean, in the discussion, I have given them a suggestion to Bakarakram from Pollution Control Board. I said that we must have a cluster landfill, a cluster landfill, so that for a certain groups of localities, they must provide land, and then we will be able to. Otherwise, we cannot have everything there in one place, because nobody will give you land. So now, for example, the municipal area, we have that, Martin, at the moment. I don't know what is the condition there, but we know it's already very bad. But now, outside municipal area, for example, that north, east, south, west areas, they must provide land because still land is there. So these localities, they must take the responsibility along with the government to dump all these things there itself. Nowadays, they can recycle everything. So that is my suggestion.
Right.
So even
And Mr. Jeevat, when we are talking about behavioral change, what is those behavioral change, everyday behavioral change that you can quickly tell us, tell the people also, that we should inculcate and practice? Not just in theory, actually practice.
Yes. This is a behavioral change should be there, because once you, I've noticed when we planted flowers in our locality and JS Road and all that, some shopkeepers were just spitting over it. So I would just feel that if you spit in your dining table, your wife will give you nicely. So feel your
treat every place as your home.
Home,
actually.
yes. The whole world is your home, and every day whole Shillong is your home. Every place, you just have to see when you're throwing a chip packet outside your car, who's going to pick up that packet? How long will it be there? When your conscience should be there that when I'm throwing this packet, it'll just accumulate there and it'll become a big waste. So one that thought should come to the people, that keep it properly, dispose it in a proper place, take it to the hotel or your house, dispose it there, keep it there. That's change. If everyone, it's a very simple thing. If there's a behavioral change, it'll just solve the problem.
Right. That's true, because Kongpat, if not now, 2024, then when? Right? Your concluding comments.
I want to say one thing. The building norms in this state are not followed at all. So people are building on the river. Just recently we saw in Umkalia, they're building right on the river. So it means you're disposing of all your kitchen waste and everything right into the river, including perhaps your sanitary, whatever. So why is it that we have such a huge challenge in implementing rules and norms?
How do they get even passed, actually?
Yeah.
Because it gets passed at different levels.
Yes. Now it is the KHADC, but of course KHADC has just recently taken over the granting of building permissions. In the past, how did people get away with all this nonsense? It's absolute nonsense, because at one time I remember that it was very strict that we should leave at least 6 feet from the road. Our home should be built there, and we would have enough place to throw in our kitchen garbage, which will rot there, which we do not need to throw outside our homes. It's a shame, actually, if your kitchen waste has to go outside.
It becomes a very
home.
healthy, compost that you can reuse. Yeah.
So we need to, actually, when I said we have to do a crisis management, it means we really have to think through these issues, come up with a roadmap that is implementable, doable, and not make too many grand schemes and all that, because it doesn't work at the end. It has to be tangible, pragmatic.
Absolutely, and I think it should be very local centric, because some of our policies are thrusted right from that level.
We ourselves should make the policy.
Yes, and in the local level, situation will be very different, especially of the northeast. Or
and maybe Moshmi, I want to add this, maybe we have to come up with a new land acquisition policy, for such things as landfills. Otherwise, if nobody wants to give land, what happens then?
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, as your concluding comments, what would be your message as a Rangbashnong of a locality which is doing so well and implementing healthy practice? What would be your message to the rest who are watching this program?
Before that, I just simply want to add one point here. You see, I was asking in the meeting, I don't remember where these, because we have so many paramilitary forces, Army, BSF, CRPF, and then CS, so many central government. Where do they dump this night soil? Because when I asked, do they come there in Martin, he said no. So that is the question I would like to ask the concerned authorities.
An enigma that needs to be solved.
That means that the cantonment board must be taken into consideration also when they talk about this cleanliness.
Okay.
So
And
that is regarding this message. Regarding this message, I would like to urge my people all over the state, because we are talking about cleanliness not only in Shillong. This must go out, I think, to
Absolutely.
interior areas. So they must have a healthy practice, because why? Otherwise, we'll face a problem like Shillong. So this is the thing that I.
They are already facing.
Yes.
We went to Punursla. They are dumping garbage. They are dumping even television sets at one place, and down below is the river.
Yes.
So
Electronic waste.
The message to the people, I think we must have a sense of responsibility, a sense of caring our own self, because we care about the generations to come. That is my message.
Absolutely, I think we all agree to this, that we should have the ownership, the feeling of ownership that this land belongs to us, and we leave it as our treasure to the future generation, right?
Yes.
And let's leave a healthy environment, a clean environment that they will be thankful to us actually in the future. Thank you so much, each of our guests here, Mr. Jeevat Vaswani, Mr. Ranjit Singh Marbanyang, and Kong Patricia Mukhim, for coming to the studios of Doordarshan and enlightening us and raising these crucial issues once again in the public forum like Doordarshan, so that people start thinking consciously, and there will be more change, a healthy practice that will be adopted by each and every individual, so that we make a collective action. On this note, we wind up today's discussion. And dear viewers, thank you so much for joining. And until next time, from all of us here, stay good and care for your environment. Bye-bye.